Yo, what is up, guys? And today I want to talk about a pretty controversial topic that has been going on in discussions pretty much everywhere that talks about Epic 7, and that is going to be about character nerfs. Now, I don't personally think that a unit needs to be nerfed or anything, honestly, because I don't really play World Arena or RTA too much, because to keep your rank in World Arena, it is super time consuming, and just unfortunately, in the past like 2 or 3 seasons of Epic 7, I just didn't have that much time to always play the game a lot. So I kind of play more casually and just kind of make these guides for you guys and just talk about, kind of things from like a general standpoint. Well, I know that there are a lot of people out there that even content create that play PvP a lot more seriously. But the topic I wanted to talk about today is if nerfs are required or even okay for the game. Now, I think the biggest discussion for nerfs right now probably is going to be revolving around Angel of Light and also Lua. Now, if we look at statistics for these units, it is actually super shocking to see the numbers in the pre-ban rates, and you're going to see that these units are a lot higher in pre-ban numbers than a unit like, Hwayoung, who has previously been nerfed to the ground because she was considered OP, and I honestly did think she was OP, but her nerfs were definitely over the top. Now, the reason why I think Lua and Angel of Light are a lot more frustrating to play against than Hwayoung is because Hwayoung, although she was a super powerful bruiser that was, decently fast, decently tanky, and could always, one-shot a unit, you can always beat her just by outspeeding her or even cleaving her down. Her biggest counter was just cleaving her. She was very, very weak to cleave. However, the top 2 units that are in the meta right now, Angel of Light and Lua, are very strong at speed contesting, and with these units, if you take the first turn, you pretty much automatically win. Whereas with Hwayoung, you had to ensure her safety through drafting. She was a lot more popular, or more toxic in Guild War settings, I would say. But for the most part, I think Lua and Angel of Light, especially for World Arena, just seem a lot more toxic to play against because of the fact that they just take the first turn and win, and just have so many ways to actually shut down your team because of the increased skill cooldown and also because of the silence, which pretty much negates you from playing the game. That being aside from the point though, I'm not saying I think these units need nerfs. Let's actually look at the numbers here and see, if Smilegate actually needs to do something, whether it be, release more counters, even potentially propose nerfs, or actually buff counters to these units or something like that, because of the fact that these numbers are looking pretty out of hand. And when I was doing my placements, or even the end of the season push last season, I was like, wow, this is actually kind of unfun to play against if you actually don't have these units, especially if you don't have decent speed gear to actually speed contest. It feels pretty bad. So here we go, guys. This is where we are going to get our data. Now, this is obviously not 100% correct, because if you read it here, this is going to be data collected from content creators' videos. Basically, even if I was, content creating more about World Arena and RTA and posting more videos about it, you guys would even see a lot of my data up here. But I don't really do that, so you're not going to see any of my data. This is just going to be overall, and I have to say this is pretty similar to the general consensus here. But just right off the bat, I want to compare Lua's and Angel of Light's pre-ban rate with Hwayoung. So you can see 75.55% pre-ban. So that's the first ban phase. You're just completely banning it. You don't even want to deal with it in draft. And then for Lua here, guys, we're going to have 60.76. Now, let's also use Conquer Ilias as a data point here. We're going to see her at 35.55 and compare her ban rate. When she hasn't been touched, she's still been equally, if not, maybe slightly weaker than before, but she's still very, very powerful in the current meta than when you compare her to when she was popular in Hwayoung's meta as well. So here we go, guys. This is going to be basically when Hwayoung was super OP in Resolution season. Then after she got nerfed, she, obviously fell off a bit because, not a bit, but just skyrocketed down because she was really bad. But you're going to see when Hwayoung was super OP, she was only at 43.3, and we have Conquer Ilias at 47.5. So, the first thing that people were saying when Hwayoung got nerfed was, why is Hwayoung nerfed and not Conquer Ilias? Because honestly, from my opinion, I thought Conquer Ilias was way worse to play against. She still feels really bad to play against. And she's also gated behind the fact that she's an ML 5-star. So I was okay with Hwayoung being okay because of the fact that she was an RGB 5-star and accessible to everyone. You just had to draft accordingly around it. And you might counter with the argument that because of Hwayoung, units like Peira and Ran were super strong as well because they were the decent answers against Hwayoung. But those are also RGB 5-stars as well. And to take the first turn against Hwayoung, you don't really need them to be super, super fast, just decently fast enough to make sure that you can go against Hwayoung and actually, take the first turn. Now, after the nerfs, you're going to see that it kind of evened out a bit. I think Conviction season, the season following Hwayoung's nerf, was actually not as people thought, because you can see the pre-ban rates are a lot lower, and they're more evenly spread. Whereas, in the resolution season, they are super, congested in the top end. And also in the current season now, like Lua and Angel of Light at 75.5 and 60 is ridiculous. And Conquerless at 35.5 is slowly falling down every season, but she's still very, very good. So that just brings the question now, like, should Smilegate actually nerf these two units? So, I stated what I said. I thought Hwayang was a very strong unit, but I thought she was okay because of the fact that she's an RGB 5-star. And sure, Lua is an RGB 5-star as well, but there isn't really a clear counter besides like Green Celine, or even like, I guess, like Zio if you try to outspeed it. But Green Celine, guys, like, honestly, if they pick Green Celine into Lua and just pick after Lua and, try to pick units that don't trigger Celine's S2, you can honestly just S1 on the first turn with Lua and she's fine, especially because she has Guiding Light and can proc it, and then she can actually do the combo after. And it's fine. With Zio, ML 5-star, so gated behind an ML 5-star, so it makes it harder to counter in that way. For Angel of Light, guys, this unit has just been super, super annoying all around. I think this unit has always been toxic. Just very surprised that Smilegate actually decided to not nerf these units, but nerf Hwayang, who I think had some decent counters that were free to play, and also, there were a lot of counters to her. I think this brings up the question to whether PvP can be balanced again if these units don't get nerfed. And I'm kind of curious what you guys think, so let me know in the comments down below. But I just wanted to bring this up because looking at the data here, maybe these units do need to be nerfed, but, as you guys know, like with nerfs, what happens? Like, Smilegate has to give out selectors, people get really mad because they pulled or spent money on the game to pull for these units, so there's a lot of things you want to avoid. But for the state of the game for PvP, I think for any gacha game, like if you want to, make an esport out of the PvP scene, there has to be constant, balance changes, or even like global bans. So in Counterside, another gacha game, what people actually do is they put a global ban. So you can global ban like a mid, like Angel of Light, or even like Hwayang when she was OP, and you wouldn't be able to use it for that week. And the way it works is every week everyone just votes on something to ban, and it'll make it so that it will feel a lot more fun. You can still use these units in Guild Wars as well. So let me know what you guys think. I just wanted to talk about this issue because I've seen a lot of people talking about it in the comment section, and also because, from my experience playing PvP in the preseason, I've just not been having fun, and even the last season as well. I just want to know how you guys think, and if you guys think it's okay to actually nerf these units or not, and if you guys actually want to see me, actually release more PvP content, because honestly, PvE side, I'm getting super, super bored, so I'm trying to find some things to do. But for the most part, definitely going to release more PvP content, most likely. That being said, thanks for watching, guys. Just wanted to discuss about this real quick. I'll be streaming in the near future as well, because, I've been sick for basically like 2.5 weeks. I've had what I thought was a cold, ended up being like the flu or COVID, and COVID right after, so it was like really bad. So hopefully I'll be back at 100%, and I'll also release more content, and I do want to stream because, I do want to interact with you guys because it's super fun doing that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.